Welcome to The Third Side with your host, John and Stacey Edwards from thirdsideparanormal.com. Hello and welcome to The Third Side. I'm your host, John Edwards, and joined as always by my lovely wife and co-host, Stacey.
Hello.
Today, we have a pretty dang awesome show, if I do say so myself. I mean, not that I'm going to start the show and say, you know what, today we have a pretty crappy show.
True.
I may do it to throw somebody off when we have this.
Just be like, don't watch the show.
Yeah. When we have it, but we have an amazing show for you today. It is chock full of goodness. I mean, it should have a Surgeon General's warning because it may be hazardous to your health.
Oh, that's probably true.
Well, yeah, definitely. Brazil. Facebook.com/thirdside. That's one of the funnest ways to get a hold of us. You get
Funnest. You said funnest. It is the funnest. I agree.
Is funnest a word?
I don't think so.
Really?
Yeah.
What would it be? Like funnier way?
Be the most fun?
The most fun.
I like funnest better.
Yeah,
Keep
funnest
going.
Sounds cool. It's like a practitioner of fun. What are you? I'm a funnest. I mean, wouldn't you want to hang out with that guy?
Sure.
I would. I'm a funnest. All right. So anyway, you were terrible. Why do you always got to correct me?
I'm sorry.
Facebook.com/thirdside is the most fun way to get a hold of us. Also, at 3SidePair, that's the number 3 on Twitter. thirdsideparanormal.com is the address, and that's the web address for getting a hold of us. Also, you can go to YouTube and search Third Side. You can, find us on iTunes. We're available on iTunes. So you can listen to us on the go. You can listen to us before that big meeting, before the next time you have a hot date and you really want to get turned on. I mean, however you need this, we're there for you because we care right from our black hearts. And today,
Yes.
Today, high five.
You're high-fiving the petrified hand.
Exactly.
Okay.
Today is a news show. Don't do it to me. A news show with some of the latest breaking paranormal news. Stacey's got some really cool stories. I don't usually peek at them, but this time I actually did do a little peek. I do that sometimes when you're sleeping too. But that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, that's a totally different show.
Totally different show. That whole After Dark thing, it's coming, y'all. It's coming. I said y'all again.
You did. You are Southern.
I'm a little Southern.
Okay.
All right, so I'm a lot Southern. Anyway, recap real quick. Facebook.com/thirdside, at 3SidePara, thirdsideparanormal.com. And I think it's just about time for some news.
It's hard for us here to believe what we're reporting to you, but it does seem to be a fact.
Okay, so time for some news. Are you ready for our first story?
I am ready. Do I get to be serious this week or laughing?
No, you can just do whatever you want this week.
So I can be funnest.
You can be funnest.
All
Be
right.
the most funnest person ever.
I am fun.
Okay, so the first
Did you notice
story.
Edgar and Allan?
I did notice Edgar. I love them.
Yes. Which one's Edgar?
Over there.
Okay. I like Edgar better. It's a cool name. It's a woody name.
It is. What about Alan?
Alan's just used. I mean, Alan's a great name. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong.
We know people named Alan.
One of my best friends is named Alan.
I know.
That might be why I just said that.
Yeah, okay. You just retracted that really quick, didn't you? Anyway.
I didn't say Marston.
You did that time. Anyway. Okay.
Love you, man.
So first story, we're just going to jump right into the story that's been shared around about Zak Bagans.
Who?
Zak Bagans.
Oh, that guy.
Ghost Adventures, Zak Bagans.
I've heard of him.
Okay, so you heard months and months and months ago, he bought that house that was supposedly haunted. Let's see. Back in January, he paid $35,000 for a home that had a lot of demonic activity and things like that. And I think it was really well documented. The family came out about it. Police officers that had done calls there. I mean, it was a huge news story at the time.
Everybody's talked about it. It's been all over Facebook.
It's in Gary, Indiana.
I'm toying with you a little bit.
Yes.
It's the Gary Demon House. Is that what they call it?
Probably. It doesn't say that in here.
Right.
But that was what I think at the time.
Not to be confused with Gary's Demon House, which sounds like some kind of fun, fun house.
Amusement park
Welcome
ride or
to
something.
Gary's Demon House, Anyway.
Those are going to start popping up.
Dude, I would totally, if we could get a restaurant chain of Gary's Demon House, can you imagine?
Do you name all the little entrees after, demon themed?
Yeah. I just wouldn't, name them 3 times or anything. But, yeah, I would name every one of them, I don't know. We could have some fun with that.
That's an idea. You have to pin
and
that.
The better foods, we could give, the higher ranking demon names and stuff. And we could have, angel kebabs and...
I think you're stretching now a little bit.
I'm trying to.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so this story came out about, this house and how Zak has been filming this documentary there called The Demon House. And he says that he shut production down on it because of something that happened. And supposedly the family that lived there came back to the house to be interviewed for the documentary.
Which they do a lot.
Yeah, and they asked people.
By documentary, do you think they're just not saying that that's an episode of their television, maybe entitled The Demon House? Or
I don't know.
It's a standalone documentary?
I mean, he spent $35,000 on this house. It's probably a standalone documentary. I mean, I don't know. It could be an episode, but they normally don't spend that much time on their episodes.
Everything hit about this for days, before he bought the house. And it was all over Facebook. I think if you go back far enough, we shared something about it somewhere.
Yeah, we did.
But it was so cool because it was documented, by law enforcement.
Yeah, well, it says here in this article, it goes back and kind of touches on that. It says that they have over 800 pages of official police reports.
Wow.
Of odd occurrences that have happened there. And a police captain with the Gary Police Department said he believes that the home is haunted because of things that I guess he had seen personally.
Right.
And it happened. And of course they went there and, investigated all the time. And the family that lived there, the Ammons, their last name is Ammons, they claim that they experienced...
Sounds like there's something missing off the first of their name, don't it? Like it should be Hammonds or Mammons or Lammons or Ammons.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. I was just going to say how many letters you were going to go through before you finished.
Crammons. Okay, go ahead.
Anyway, they experienced their children levitating.
Levitating.
Yeah, strange footsteps, odd behavior.
Strange what?
Footsteps.
Oh, those footsteps are crazy.
I don't want to hear those.
Oh, yeah.
And you made me lose my spot. I'm sorry. Oh, and odd behavior from animals and insects, apparently. I don't know how insects have odd behavior. I guess maybe they swarm. Doesn't really.
What kind of odd behavior from animals?
It doesn't go into detail here. I don't have the original article, so I don't.
Did they have a cat?
Probably not one like that.
Well, I mean, I was just wondering what kind of strange
Weren't
behavior.
you supposed to feed that cat?
I did feed the cat.
To who?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
anyway,
good. All right.
We are married.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Anyway. So it says that, so Zak actually said this may be one of the most well-documented cases of demonic possession ever.
Definitely.
Yes, and there's been lots of psychics that have gone there, and he actually interviewed with TMZ about it.
Yes.
And they are supposedly calling it a portal to hell.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. So he convinced the Ammons family to come back to the home to be in the new documentary. It does say documentary in this article, so I don't know if it's just an episode or if he's actually doing
I don't know if I would have
standalone.
pulled the family back.
Well, even if you wanted to talk to them, I don't think I would have brought them back to the actual house.
Right.
Especially the children, since they were so impressionable the first time.
Right.
But, sometimes you don't think about those things, or maybe it had been quiet.
Okay, let me rephrase that. I would have totally done that.
Yeah.
I'm saying that the right thing to do probably wasn't to bring the family back.
But, in all fairness, it could have been very quiet. Maybe there wasn't a lot of activity. Maybe he thought that it was fine to do that. So as soon as they started filming, then the activity started to stir up. And the woman, Latoya Ammon, she claimed that she was kicked, and then her daughter began speaking in tongues and threatening to attack the crew.
Wow.
And I'm pretty sure that was one of the kids that had been, I guess, possessed or oppressed, or I don't know the original story. I don't know the original story. So he took the girl to a Catholic priest and had her, like they did, I don't know if they did a full-blown exorcism or if they just, holy water and blessed her or whatever. But he did say that one of his production crew quit on the spot when he saw the little girl. And then he decided, when that started happening, that the home was unsafe. He called a priest into the house to exorcise the house and said that the exorcism was unsuccessful and things have continued. So for the safety of everyone, they halted the production.
See, that's crazy because I don't see those guys halting production.
Yeah. Well, honestly, he probably couldn't get anybody to go in there with him. Maybe. I don't know. But they halted the production, and that has been months. But they plan to resume in December. He just told that to TMZ, that they plan on starting to film again in December. I guess they gave it time to die down.
See, when you're messing with the veil, and you're, as a paranormal investigator, you're making the conscious decision, that I'm going to do this for a living or do this for research or, whatever. When you make that decision, there's a lot of stuff that, people I don't think always get going in. Of course he knows.
Right.
But has he, felt that wrath, that full-on wrath of what can happen? We documented on our last episode, some of the stuff that's happened to us in the past from carelessness. And
things that we brought on ourselves just out of sheer not thinking about what we were doing.
And the scary thing about it, most of the time, you don't know that it's happening because of oppression. You don't know that it's happening. You have the fights, you have these, and both of you are so angry. And you don't realize what is going on until it's too late sometimes. Not everybody's lucky like we were. And
right.
I mean, I think ours went
especially people that
far.
That aren't really into the paranormal. I mean, they don't know anything. They don't even believe in that stuff.
Just like a paranormal enthusiast or something that goes out, like, hey, I want to go with you guys. That's why I was always so hell-bent on not having, when we did have somebody, I just used them as a trigger object because they're first, because fear.
Right.
And fear is the best, component of getting great evidence because of the energy it produces.
Right.
But wow. Yeah, that's a crazy story. Well, I can't wait to see, I have to admit, I can't
wait to see it. What I think is so interesting about it is that little girl, if that family went back in there, I mean, how quickly did that start up as soon as they went back in the house? I mean, just as soon, which means it makes me feel like that's not been taken care of with them. Even though they don't live in the house anymore, I feel like that's something that maybe still needs to be taken care of.
The whole fact, the elephant in the room is he spent $35,000 to buy this home.
Right.
You don't think there might be some kind of force at work there? I mean,
causing him to buy the house.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. So anyway, good story.
I know, but I'll be interested to see. I don't know when it'll actually be finished. It says they're going to resume production in December, and they usually crank things out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know how long that's going to take or whatever. So, okay, let's move on. Let's talk about Bigfoot.
No, let's
talk about Bigfoot. I'm going to do this. I have two Bigfoot stories. So I'm going to do this other one first, okay?
So big feet.
Big feet, yes. So this is a story from a Michigan man who shared a video of Bigfoot. I'm quoting in quotes here. You see what I'm doing? Yes. So a Michigan resident said he believed he captured the images of a Sasquatch walking on his property, and he lives in, Michigan. Did I say Michigan already?
You said it a few
Michigan
times.
Man. He lives in the northern part of the state.
You actually said Michigan. So
Michigan.
Michigan.
There
I thought it was somewhere in Ireland. I want it to go. It's like Michigan, Ireland.
You just want to go to Ireland.
Top of the morning.
Do that again. Okay, anyway. So his name's John Freeman. He claimed that he was reviewing footage taken from a trail camera that he recently purchased that he uses to, and this is in quotes, witness the deer population, because that's what trail cameras are for, right? For hunters.
Yeah.
And he noticed a strange visitor. And it said that the camera is motion activated. Right. So when it sees motion, it starts to record, and this was a video. It wasn't just pictures. It was a video.
We use them on investigations.
We do. It's funny, you know, they probably sell just as many trail cameras for paranormal investigation than they do. Maybe not as many,
We were doing that 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're handy. You know, something moves, takes a picture.
Yeah.
We've actually gotten some stuff off of that too, haven't we?
We
Yeah.
have.
Anyway.
We had that lightning. What do you call those things? Oh my God.
The rods.
The rod.
Yeah, like the light that shot down or
we
whatever.
had one of those. Big old rod.
So anyway, he was reviewing his footage, and he had got like this 20-second video that shows a dark human-like figure walking slowly behind some trees. So I watched the video, and you can see this thing walking. It looks like a man, but you can't really tell what it is because it's really far away.
Right.
So let me just touch on what's wrong with this video. I'm not just going to say, hey, you faked this, because I don't do that. You know, I could be wrong, but my opinion is...
You totally do that.
My opinion is...
Oh, you're talking about on TV, on the show. You
yeah,
don't do that.
okay. My opinion, for the record, on video, where it can be used against me...
Yes, I understand now. You're not talking about when you're doing
that the video is really suspect. First of all, the object is pretty far away, and I don't know how good trail cameras are.
Not very.
But from my
They got good ones, though.
from my experience, it doesn't trigger it from. I mean, you have to be fairly close for it to trigger the motion. Now, there was motion. It could be a very, very good camera. I mean, I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But it was like it only looked. You know, it was way back behind some trees, and you could only see it for just a couple seconds. The other thing is the camera was moving, and supposedly it was lashed to a tree, but you could see the video was kind of like someone was holding it and not actually. Now, I don't know if he just hangs his camera up in a tree, spends all that money on it, and just hangs it up in a tree to swing back and forth, or what the deal is with that, but it seemed kind of odd to me.
Well, trees do blow in the wind.
That they do, but these were, I mean, this is a forest. They were big trees, and, you know, it was kind of lower to the ground. It wasn't like way, way up in the branches or anything like that.
Right.
But I did think of that. Yes, maybe it's swaying.
Could be a nature spirit.
It could be.
In Michigan.
In Michigan. But when he put the video on, he actually did it all up with eerie music and, you know, made it very theatrical, which didn't help his case.
No.
That usually, because you don't want to do that.
That usually smells like poo.
Yeah. So my personal opinion, I think if it did catch something, it's just somebody walking in the woods. And he was like, I don't know why anybody would be walking because I'm so many miles away from whatever. Maybe he's hunting. You know, I don't know.
It could be
I don't know.
Deer on two legs too, like you watched.
No, it was a person looking thing.
You've never
it was
seen
like
the
a
deer
person.
on two legs video? Look that one up. Holy
Is there really a video?
You watched it with me. It walks through the neighborhood on two legs. Oh, it's a bear. That's a bear.
Okay.
Sorry.
See that because a deer on two legs would be really awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm totally picturing it though.
Me too.
Like with his little hooves.
His poor little legs, his little skinny legs.
Yeah. Breaking off.
Anyway, yes, bears do walk on two legs quite a bit.
Yeah, but like all the way, it was like strolling, had a jukebox on it. I mean, it was crazy looking.
So anyway, I don't think that it was really anything worth anything.
Anything worth anything? No, I agree.
If you happen to get a video that you think is Bigfoot and you want to share it, don't produce it like it's a clip from a movie. Okay, that's the first big no-no. You know. Yeah. Don't add creepy music and you know.
Maybe his trail camera that comes with creepy music as it goes.
It could. It might have just prefaced it. Yeah. So when he was going through, it's like, oh look, prefaced.
Right.
Isn't that a word?
Well, I just wanted to hear it again.
You make me worry when you do that.
I just wanted to hear it again.
Yeah. So anyway, so let's go on to this other Bigfoot story I have.
The other one.
The other one.
Okay.
This is not a Bigfoot sighting story. This is a story about a professor, a doctor. Yeah, he like works at a university. He's a doctor at a university. It's an article about him talking about how he believes in Bigfoot and that supposedly there is proof, DNA proof that Bigfoot exists.
Okay.
Okay, yes, and I know supposedly there is proof, DNA proof that Bigfoot exists. So
says Professor Doctor.
Yes, there's a study, and it was conducted and led by this Dr. Melba Ketchum. Okay, he's from Texas. Melba Ketchum, that's his name.
What's he want to do to Bigfoot?
Yeah.
Catch them.
I see the joke there. I honestly didn't think of that beforehand. Shame on me.
Beforehand, I wasn't sitting here.
You weren't sitting here?
I wasn't sitting here.
Are we just going to do this to each other all night?
I think so.
Okay, anyway.
All right.
So it says after a 5-year-long DNA study that they've finally proven that Bigfoot is real in North America.
Who's proven it? They prove a lot.
I know, isn't it? It says, this guy's an expert in genetics.
Of course he is.
Supposedly. So
those doctor professors are experts in everything.
Okay. So anyway, this doctor confirms that they have sequenced 3 complete Sasquatch nuclear genomes and determined that the species is a human hybrid. That's what she says.
Right.
Okay. So there's this long explanation in there about what they found and what they sequenced and, why they think that it's a Bigfoot DNA.
Right.
So what the blowback on this is, and this is a good point that has been brought up, is nobody knows where these samples came from, like who collected them, how their process for collecting the samples that they have studied and done this DNA on. So it could have been somebody just out there, just an amateur Bigfoot hunter, grabbing some snot or whatever they got. I don't know what they got. It didn't say. And I mean, they could have got their.
You sure hope it's snot, don't you?
They could have got their own DNA mixed in. Do you understand?
Bigfoot was here. I think this is snot. Is outside your window.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So they could have very easily gotten their own DNA mixed in. They could have coughed, sneezed, anything.
Right.
You don't know. And they, it wasn't listed there where it came from. So you're saying it could
be raccoon and your sneeze.
Right, or bear, or, and it could just be something mixed. So they spent all this time sequencing it, and it could have been,
like, there was controlled.
No, right, and there was no listing of where they got it. Like in this article, it didn't say where they got it, where, any of these things. And so...
Yeah,
who knows? I don't understand. It's funny that they put this big article out and they're actually going out on a limb and saying, hey, we've done this. And
it's not controlled.
Yeah, it's not really that scientific.
So you have to throw it out.
That's what I would think.
Exactly.
I mean, that's my opinion.
I've went back and forth on Bigfoot.
Right.
For years. And, I started out for it because of Leonard Nimoy and his evil genius voice.
Right.
In Search Of was, great, wonderful, scared the crap out of me. Because I really seriously thought when I saw the Patterson footage that I was going to go outside and there was going to be big furry men, and it's, and Lee Majors, this, that also did it for me. When Andre the Giant played Bigfoot, I mean, I was pretty convinced that Andre the Giant was a shaven ape. And, so there was a lot of stuff early on. As I grew up, I, got away from the fact of believing in Bigfoot because I thought, well, we should have caught him. Something.
Or some kind of remains or something.
Or they should want to, get some kind of government program to, use my tax money. Something. Yeah. So, going back and forth through all this, but being an investigator that has seen just about everything, I have friends who have encountered Bigfoot. On our previous show, we've talked to people who have encountered...
thought they had or had,
allegedly encountered Bigfoot.
Right.
Or, some hominid,
something
9 foot tall,
right,
hairy thing. So, I mean, it's interdimensional. That's brought up a lot. But to me, interdimensional sometimes a cop-out.
Yeah, well, you can't.
Because that's like, I swear to God I saw it, but it was interdimensional. It was gone. To me, interdimensional kind of is like that catch-all of, we might not see it. Because, I mean, it is interdimensional.
I caught that fish, but it got away.
Yeah, exactly. I would like to think that with everybody looking, everybody, their brother, their mother, their sister Sally, even the dog is trained. Everybody's looking for Bigfoot these days.
Right.
The shows are popular. It's okay. It's actually one of those cool things for hipsters.
Right.
It's like, what are you doing this week, Jed? Oh, we're going to go see if we can find Bigfoot. I mean, it's right there with going to Bass Pro Shop. It's the same guys that I hear now.
Right.
It's, you know, the ones wearing the Bass Pro shirt and the Bass Pro hat and has like a, you know, a fishing tackle on their head and all this stuff. It's those guys, and I see them every week, and I'm just like, hey, what are you guys getting into? Hey, we're gonna go look for Bigfoot.
Do they talk like that?
Yeah, they do. They do. And they all drive Dodge 2500s with jacked up tires, and you know, and they wear jeans that are really like a size too small.
Careful, you're stereotyping.
I am not stereotyping. I'm not stereotypical at all. You know what? These guys would be so happy that I was talking about them right now. They're watching right now, and they're like, hey, he
Cracking
knows
open
me.
a beer.
He knows me. Yeah. Pass me that Bud Light.
The only thing I have to say about Bigfoot, I mean, I don't want to say either way, like, because I don't really know. But until you can go to all of those places, like in the Pacific Northwest, all of the national
I want my
forests,
Bigfoot to be a Seattle Bigfoot.
Until you can get to all those places that you can't get to right now, then you can't rule it out.
Right.
Because they find stuff all the time that they didn't know existed.
They do.
I mean,
Caves. They find freaking cities underneath the dirt.
So, you know, I can't rule it out. I'm not particularly sure that it is a real thing,
I think it's there. I think Bigfoot is a thing. Mm-hmm. I think it's something.
Right.
Okay? I think that it's something. It's obvious that a lot of these people wouldn't just completely, I mean, unless half of America is batshit crazy, which...
That could be something in the water.
Right. Well, I guess it could be in the water, couldn't it? Thank you, government. Thank you.
Anyway, well, that was all. I mean, that's all we had about Bigfoot. But I just thought, I did watch this news story. When I was reading that article, there is a news story attached to the one that I found, where they went to this museum that had this whole exhibit, Bigfoot exhibit. And it was this guy that had been collecting all this stuff, and he had all these plaster casts of all these footprints. And he mentioned the famous footage, the Patterson footage. And he said that he thought it was interesting because everybody always looked at it and they look at how tall it is and the fur, but what he said he looks at is the feet, how it walks. He said because when you have somebody in a costume, they don't ever get the feet right. So like he was watching how it was walking and how the feet were hitting the ground and how it seemed legitimate and you know all that. It was pretty interesting, but it was a huge exhibit, all kinds of Bigfoot stuff on the wall and all this.
I've seen the place.
Yeah, so
that's pretty cool. Yeah, well that's a cool story.
Okay, so
you think we'll get sponsored by Bass Pro Shop now?
Yeah, no.
What y'all want to do this weekend?
Go hunting.
Oh.
Okay, so you want to talk about the story we saw in our local news, the one about the green streaks, the fireballs.
The green streaks.
Yes.
I'm really excited about these.
Yes. There wasn't a lot in this one particular article, just lots of fireballs seen over the South, but again, several states. Just like the last time we heard about.
A lot of the same
what is
states.
Going on? I mean, do we just having meteor showers a lot now? I mean, I don't understand.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of crap going on.
There is.
I mean, with the mysterious booms and like the meteors and lighting up going over all these states. I don't know. It's just tuning into it. You know, otherwise it's a footnote and an otherwise normal day.
Well, according to the American Meteor Society, there was actually 2 events, and this happened, I think.
I bet those guys are loving life.
This past Monday, I think, is when this was.
The American Meteor Society guys.
Oh yeah, they're like meteors. There's so many meteors.
They might be able to move out of their mom's house soon.
That's mean.
What?
And maybe they don't live with their moms.
Maybe they don't. Maybe they love their mother, though. It's not mean.
Okay, anyway. So supposedly there was one in the morning when it was daylight, and then there was one about 6:20 in the evening.
Right.
And that was the one that got reported more, obviously, because it was darker and people noticed it more.
Right.
Right. So the states that it was noticed in was North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, a little bit of Ohio, and Kentucky. And I put Kentucky last on purpose for you.
Okay,
it wasn't last in the article.
That wasn't listed last.
It was almost listed last. It was listed right before Ohio, but I think Ohio just got the very, bottom part of Ohio. So
well, I appreciate you listing Kentucky.
I listed it last just for you, though.
You would not believe what I saw. I know I just saw something 2 weeks ago. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But this was big and green.
It said that the
Bigfoot's sitting here with me right now. We both saw it. We both saw it. He went to another dimension, though.
Okay, so the evening sighting was actually reported by more than 300 people on the American Meteor Society website. And you can tell that this is a Southern News report because it actually says 300 folks. Not people, 300 folks.
It's a different form of counting.
I guess so. And most of them said that it was actually a vivid green color. It didn't say why it was green. I'm curious about that. Why would it look green?
Maybe it was sick.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. It's very cool, and it was a lot of states, once again, that reported it. A lot of the same states. And, was it just a meteor? I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. The green color was odd.
It was odd.
And if you've seen, any of the pictures or anything, it's pretty neat. The exciting thing about it is, yes, this stuff is happening
right.
a lot. A
lot more than usual.
Yeah. And so I'm very, very interested to see, what comes of it or if it keeps happening.
I haven't heard anything else about it. But, we always see the stories when they come up because everybody's excited about it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you can imagine driving along. It's kind of a big deal.
It is. I agree. There are a lot of videos out there, too. So
yes,
if you look it up, I mean, there's lots of people caught it on cameras everywhere. Okay, so let me just throw this last story out here. And I know you're not going to like this story, and I apologize, but I have to talk about it because it's there. It's about a clown again. Not just a clown. In France. French clowns, your favorite.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm only bringing this story up because of the story we did last time, about all
I picture Pepe Le Pew.
clown
like,
appearances.
that's what I picture is Pepe Le Pew with a clown nose.
Oh, it's funny that he was French. I never put that together.
That he stunk and he was French? Really? You never got that part of it?
I never put that together.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What an epiphany.
It's a long-running joke.
It's not really an epiphany if you told me, though, is it?
No.
No. But I never put that together. Anyway.
It's a personal epiphany. Epiphany.
Anyway. So we had the story last time about all the people that were dressing up as clowns and showing up and threatening people. And it was happening everywhere in America, England, France. So I thought this one was pretty funny because they're still having problems with this in France. And they arrested...
If they would just start shooting them.
Well, they arrested a teenager. This is why they're having such a big problem. So...
I can get some of my friends from Bass Pro to go over. They take care of them in one day.
In Montpelier, there was a teenager.
I'd be like, there's some evil clowns. They'd be like, hey, you know what we're going to go do? What you know? We're going to kill some clowns in France. I smell like Hollister right now, though. Go ahead.
Anyway, so there was a teenager that was arrested, and he was sentenced to 4 months in prison. 4 months. And here's what he did. He hit a passerby 30 times with an iron bar while dressed as a clown, going to 4 months in prison. Do you not think that requires a longer prison sentence if you actually hit somebody with an iron bar 30 times?
Well, was it a trick iron bar that kept like...
I don't think so.
So is it really just an iron? Did he count to 30?
I don't know. It just says that it didn't go into details. It just said that he got 4 months for hitting a passerby.
Think about that stuff. Like,
30 times with an iron bar.
Did he be like 28, 29, holy God, 30?
My arm hurts so bad, holy cow. I don't know, and it doesn't even say...
Maybe he's like a really weak guy.
If the person
was... left bruising, like small contusions.
And they counted him?
Yeah.
It's possible. It doesn't say anything about the person that got hit, if they were okay or
alive?
Dead or if you whacked him in the head or anything like that.
30 pounds of steel bars.
I wouldn't think that they died, or surely to goodness he'd get more than 4 months in prison if the person died. But still, he attacked somebody just randomly, a teenager.
Maybe it was an American he attacked.
They'd give him an award.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Anyway.
People are just wrong with France. There's nothing wrong with French people.
So this isn't the only thing that's happened recently in France. They've actually had complaints pouring in over armed clowns that have been wreaking havoc.
Even wreaking havoc is terrible.
I'm Scooby-Doo now. In various parts of the country, some of them are carrying guns, knives, baseball bats, and they actually have to arrest them.
No. If they're going to do it, can they not hold a gun that goes bang?
Okay, here's one that's funny. It says a woman who got out of her car in a town near Paris, she called the police saying 2 clowns, one of them had a fake axe, but they attacked her. And so someone passing by actually had a baseball bat, just a normal guy, not somebody dressed as a clown, just somebody with a bat, and came to her aid, and they, ran off. They tried to run off, and the police caught one of them, but they still had like the white makeup on their face and looked like a clown. I don't understand the point of that, but
It's terrible.
it is. And then in another town,
Can they not just stop selling clown supplies?
I'm sure people would figure out a way to dress as a
I
clown.
mean, if somebody comes in trying to buy shoes that are way too big,
But
you
it
know,
says
there's warning signs.
in another town, no more squeaky noses.
Yeah.
A 19-year-old got a 6-month suspended jail term for threatening people while dressed as a clown. People that walk by, just threatening them. And it said that the clowns have been mostly spotted outside schools and on public roads, sometimes in bushes. They're hiding in bushes. I mean, what?
Like you just spot them randomly.
So,
It's like, look, Mildred, there's a clown in the but what?
yeah, and then it says on Saturday night, they arrested 14 teenagers that were dressed as clowns and
14?
carrying weapons. They were all carrying weapons. I mean, I don't understand. Is this just the thing? Is it a fad?
It's like
Is
the
it a
West
fad
Side
now?
Circus.
And then in that same town, the Montpelier town. It was I'm sorry. I lost my
So we
place.
went through a time lapse.
I apologize. I lost my place. The victim said that the guy that was hitting him with the bar was
Right.
telling him to give him everything, his telephone, his money, his briefcase, and that he now has trouble sleeping and has nightmares
You
since
think?
the assault.
Really?
Yes. And the attacker, he admitted that he was drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, is going to go to prison now. So,
I don't know. Maybe we should just like go over there and, clown psychology.
this is like France. Don't they have stuff to do, stuff for the kids to do where they don't have to dress up as clowns and
Sure.
attack people or threaten people? I don't understand the thrill of that or I don't know.
It's the French. I mean,
But it's not just France. I mean, it seems like it's happening really bad there, but people are dressing up like that. And I mean, I understand around Halloween if you want to be scary or do it as a project and photograph it and be funny, but threatening people and trying to rob them dressed as a clown, that's just, people are going to need therapy
yeah.
like that guy.
It's going to happen once. I said it before. One time.
We can't ever go to the circus now.
One time.
The clowns that come out, people freak
Well, you
out.
can't trust them anyway. I told you before, smiling, sad. What's wrong?
I don't know.
I hate clowns. It's the dumbest thing. Who invented clowns?
It's funny because our daughter's never been to she went to one circus, but there aren't really that many clowns. She doesn't like clowns. She's just like, she doesn't want anything to do with
She's
clowns.
clever.
She doesn't want clown anything in her room.
I gave her survival instincts. She is sarcastic and she has survival instincts.
If we go to the store, she's like, stay away from the clowns. No clowns.
Yeah.
Nothing.
No, she's
pretty funny.
Yeah. If I give you any gift, it's
I don't think she'll
that.
even watch the Scooby-Doo episode where the villain is a clown. I think she just skips over that episode.
Yeah, that's a terrible episode.
Yeah.
It really
It's like
is.
some kind of Big Top one or something.
Yeah, I'll stick with minor 49er. So anyway, that's terrible.
It is.
If you see any more stories, I don't care if the clowns are building like homages to.
No more clown stories?
No.
I can't
I do
bring
not
no
care
more?
if they take over the awful bloody tower. Okay.
I'm going to bring a little clown and sit him on the
No.
table.
It's not a joke. No.
It's kind of a joke.
It's not a joke. No.
Okay.
I don't want him. Have you ever been like? Imagine a 7-foot clown coming in the studio right now. I mean,
No,
seriously.
I don't like clowns either, but I don't mind doing stories about them. I didn't bring pictures.
No, there's no pictures, but there will be when we watch the produced version.
Yes, I'm sure there will be.
There'll be a clown.
Scary pictures, Justin.
No.
Scary
no, listen.
clown pictures.
Okay. I love Tim Curry.
Right?
Tim Curry is like an icon, idol. Like, I love Tim Curry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And I lost a lot for him because of Pennywise.
You didn't even know he was Pennywise for a long time, did you?
No, who would have known?
I don't know.
Dr. Frankenfurter. I mean, you're expecting him to play,
Hey,
Frankenfurter.
he did a good Pennywise. He was creepy.
Yeah, he did a better Frankenfurter.
That's true.
Rocket.
Anyway, so that's all the news for this time.
Well, thank you very much.
I thought I'd end it on the clown story.
Well, yeah, so wonderful.
Now I'm always thinking of you.
You are. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, thank you so much for the news
You're
and
welcome.
even that last story. I hope that we haven't offended any Bigfoot that are out there watching the show. I like to have a lot of fun, and obviously we research all the same stuff you guys do. I get worried sometimes that there might be a Bigfoot somewhere that I have offended, and that's.
Well, let him come forward and say that you've offended him.
Yes, do that.
That'd be good. And,
it's all in fun and love.
And I just have to hand it to people that actually do hunt Bigfoot, because I think somebody told us before, and we agreed with them, that's a lot of walking around in the woods.
Well, there's nothing I hate worse.
I don't want to do that.
Nothing I hate worse than, being out in the dark woods. I mean, I love it in a way, but in another way, there's nothing creepier, I should say. There's never been a house built that has creeped me out as much as standing in the woods alone. And, there's some overpowering feeling there. So I could see where a lot of stories over the thousands of years have come from, just because your mind does a lot of crap to you when you're standing in the middle of some, dark forest. But, I respect everybody that does it. I respect anybody who follows any kind of passion and looks for the, the unknown. Facebook.com/third side. That's the funnest way to follow us. At 3sidepara, the number 3, and thirdsideparanormal.com is the address. Now, if you have a friend that hasn't yet hit like on Facebook.com/third side, I want you to dress as a clown, and I want you to take a bendable steel pipe to their house and threaten it as it's walking back and forth. Okay. Tell them to like this. I appreciate all our listeners, but share it, tell people, hit the share button.
We do we share a lot of stuff on our Facebook and our Twitter.
Yeah, we keep it active. We absolutely keep it active. Facebook.com/third side, at 3sidepara, thirdsideparanormal.com. For my lovely wife, Stacey, my name's John Edwards. So long from the third side.
Good night.